Racing on dirt can tilt the odds, and for that reason, Jamie Little, Stuart Friesen likes his chances today.
And he really does. You know, he has a lot on his plate today, too. 400 laps to be exact, the Truck Series race, and then later today he'll make his Cup Series debut. Now, I just talked to him before he got in the truck, and I'll tell you what, he has more confidence in his and his truck's ability for today's race than any other driver I talked to. You know, he has over 330 wins on dirt in his career, and that alone makes him one of the favorites to win this Truck Series race today. Watch the 52. Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, another driver very confident in his dirt racing ability is Matt Crafton, former Eldora dirt race winner. Felt very good about things and where his truck was on Friday afternoon. Their plan was to have a setup in for more of a damp, wet racetrack because of this being a night race. Unfortunately, that changed, so they had to abort mission a little bit there. Build plenty of adjustability into their race truck so that when the race gets dried out here in just a little bit, it will still be very fast.
Thank you, Regan. And Jamie, great to have you with us today as we get ready to go dirt racing here at Bristol. And we're excited to have Joey Logano. Busy day for Joey. He'll not only work with us in the broadcast and then go run a cup race later today. So, Joey, since you first got here and got on the track on Friday, you've seen a lot of change. I'm not sure what we're going to see here today.
We're going to see change all day long on this racetrack. Obviously, it has rained a lot over the last couple days, and this track's going to go through a huge transition. Right now, it's going to be gripped up. You're going to see these trucks sideways. I think the dirt guys are probably going to have the advantage here. This is when getting the truck sideways, pitched out, racing it really hard is going to work really good for them. And I think as it goes, the track's going to dry out. And then you're going to see more of the asphalt guys maybe starting to figure it out. And what you need in your truck is going to be completely different when it's dry and you see these trucks a little bit more straight.
Well, and Michael Waltrip, isn't that part of the fun? You don't really know what to expect.
And that's the theme of the day, Vince. And we saw it in practice on Friday. It's fun. These guys are going to be kicking these trucks sideways. Usually you're technical here at Bristol. You got to ease into the corner, really keep the truck pointed straight. Today, it's all about gunning it, getting it sideways, and seeing what kind of progress you can make. And also adjustability, not only on pit road with the trucks, but your driving style. That'll change all day long as we race at Bristol on the dirt. And Vince, this Camping World track description, it says a 0.5 mile track with 19 degrees of baking in the corners. I really don't know what all that means right now. We're going to learn that this track's going to go from maybe a half mile to maybe just 3/8 of a mile when they run different lanes. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think the Tennessee red clay is the key to that track description there. And Camping World race analysis, we're going to have 3 stages today, Mike. You've got to pit in one of the stages. You got to make at least one pit stop.
Yeah, and talking to Joey before we went on air, he thinks they'll pit twice to get those tires. That's how important they are. We saw a lot of tire wear, and you'll see why these tires wear. The track will have black streaks through the corner as we race along.
How about our onboard cameras today?
Columbia for Bubba Wallace. He's starting way out back along with Kevin Harvick. Harvick's going to ride along in the Hunt Brothers Pizza with that camera on board. This is all about experience for Kevin, having to learn what to do when we get ready to go cup racing later today. He thinks this is an advantage. What do you say we hop up front now, Vince? Stuart Friesen, we talked about how good he is on the dirt and what a factor he will be today. We're going to ride on board with him and see exactly what he sees as he attacks these red clay corners. And then up front with him, Matt Crafton. Talked about his prowess on dirt. He got him a modified, started racing dirt just because he wanted to be a better trucker. He's done a nice job.
The 19 of Derek Kraus, a bit of an issue, and he had to remain on pit road, so he will join the field here as they've added a lap before going green.
So much anticipation, huh, Joey? I mean, we don't know what the track's going to do, but more importantly, these cats down here in the trucks, they don't know either.
They don't know. I mean, it could be kind of a replay of what they had on practice on Friday, right? Where they had a track that was prepped like it is now, and you've seen some trucks to start were really, really fast, and they were sideways like I was talking about. And then later on in practice, you've seen a different group of trucks making a lot of speed. And I think we're going to see that throughout this race for sure. And I think patience are going to come into play because I think there could be some crashes today.
Patience? You guys aren't very long on patience.
Yeah, well, you don't have a long race. 150 laps around Bristol
so
isn't long. Be very long. But for a dirt race, that's pretty long.
Kyle Larson, is there anybody here that would say he's not the favorite in this one today?
No.
No.
I don't think anybody would say that.
But
he's got a long way to go.
Starts deep in the field, starts 28th. Pace truck is off. John Hunter Nemechek and Austin Hill on the front row. We're racing on the dirt at Bristol. Austin Hill straight to the point. Matt Crafton challenging on the outside.
You know, Matt Crafton has a lot of experience. He was up here a week ago running his dirt modified, and I was up here with him. And so he's got some laps around this racetrack.
That is awesome. I love watching these trucks sideways. Are we going to be 3 wide here on lap 2? I say yes.
Sheldon Creed in the 2 truck taking a look on the inside of Austin Hill, makes his move for the lead.
You just look at him, just rooting, gouging on the bottom, going over those bumps on the bottom, those white marks I see on the bottom of the racetrack. Those are not smooth. Those are pretty bumpy and upset your truck quite a bit.
15 is Tanner Gray, had a little wall contact, but no worse for the wear, it seems. We'll see a lot of that throughout the course of this race today as you ride on board with Matt Crafton, and that's the leader, Sheldon Creed, ahead of him, and now you look back at Austin Hill.
I like listening. He was on the brakes, he was on the gas, all at the same time, trying to keep your truck pitched out enough to where you can keep it turning, yet not too far sideways to where you can't get forward drive off the corner.
On board with Stuart Friesen as we look back at Grant Enfinger. There's Larson. He's really moving up 9 spots since the start, making it work high and low. Haley Deegan down on the bottom as well. A lot of action back in the pack.
52's fast up top. Clear high by 2.
Early laps here at Bristol. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on the dirt here for the first time. Matt Crafton in that neon yellow 88 with Stuart Friesen challenging on the inside for second. And Friesen's got the spot.
What a move by Friesen.
Yeah, that picture there we just saw a second ago, you can see the track already drying up. And when you put this many trucks on the racetrack, it's going to dry up really quick.
About the only place in Tennessee that is dry after the torrential downpours that we've had recently. It's good to see these guys kicking up some dust.
What a great day to be at the racetrack. We're at Bristol watching the Camping World Truck Series on dirt. under caution at Bristol. The 15 of Tanner Gray was running just inside the top 15 and went around.
Joey, what's that feel like when you know it's over? You know, you've kicked it out too far.
That's one thing I've realized about dirt races so far. When you start losing control, it's a slide for life for a long time. You know you're wrecking for a long time.
A little bit of damage to that 15 front end. Gives us a chance to remind you about entering Clint's Fox Bet Super 6 Stage 2 contest for your chance to win $25,000 of Clint Boyer's cash. Just download the app and pick 6 race outcomes around Stage 2 for your shot to win. It's free to play, so don't miss out. Play now while there's still time left. How about Kyle Larson? He's been on the move, up 13 spots, Jamie.
Yes, he sits in the 15th spot right now, and he just told his team the track is so much different than practice. So those changes they made, he doesn't know if they're helping or not. Can't keep that left front that you see right there sit on the exit of the corner. That left front won't stay down on the ground, and he said basically he just can't turn. He's too tight. But his crew chief told him this will play into our hands later as the track loosens up.
Yeah, I'd take Kyle Larson in an ill-handling truck over most in a perfectly handling machine.
You could see there, Briscoe could see what was happening, but behind him, Chandler Smith in the 18 couldn't. Bit of a chain reaction there.
And avoiding crashes is going to be very challenging here, for sure. Trying to make a quick move is tough. Regan?
Joey, we talk about guys trying to figure out what their trucks are doing. One of them that's very happy, obviously, is your leader, Sheldon Creed. That race truck's good for him right now. Said it's just a little bit tighter than what he might like, but this is part of their plan. They want the truck to be just a little bit too tight right now. They think it's going to continue to come to him as we run.
Creed ran second at Eldora back in 2019, the last time the trucks raced there, but these are his first laps led on the dirt, and he has led 15 of them so far. As you look inside the workspace of Stuart Friesen.
Lines up on the outside, Joey. There's no choose rule here, so these guys just line up the way they're running, and so they don't have to. They couldn't get the choose cone or whatever that arrow thing is to stick to the dirt, so they said we're not doing that.
Yeah, I could see that be wore off pretty quickly.
Especially with all this rain.
Yeah, no kidding.
I figured that one right out. That's some good analysis.
Can't slip anything past you, Mike.
Thank you, Vince. I love it.
Getting ready for this restart with Sheldon Creed on the bottom and Stuart Friesen up top. Closing in on halfway through stage 1 here at Bristol. That's Martin Truex in the 51. Don't get to see Martin in the Truck Series very often these days, so he'll start on the outside of row 3.
And he is moving, Vince, up 7 spots since the start of this race and got a really nice looking truck. He and Chase Briscoe, a couple of guys that are early on looking like they got trucks that are handling very well at this point of the race.
Creed leads Friesen. The last time we raced on dirt, Eldora 2019, they finished 1-2, Creed and Friesen. Friesen was the winner, Creed the runner-up.
Picking up right where they left off, aren't they?
And they've got another former Eldora winner in Matt Crafton right there with them in third.
I tell you what, though, you see that 51 truck of Martin Truex Jr. He is passing trucks left and right on the outside. That truck looks really fast.
How much of an advantage come Cup race later this afternoon is it for these guys to get the laps in the truck?
Yeah, I was really hoping you were going to run this race after the Cup race. That would have been better for me. I would love to be in one of these trucks right now.
But aren't you learning things that might apply later? I know you're watching very closely and intently about what's going on, and it seems like you could pick up some pointers for this afternoon's Cup affair.
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do the broadcast up here, because you can see the whole racetrack. You can see where trucks are moving around and what we're going to want to do in our Cup cars later.
You know what I've always wanted to do? Get on top of the scoreboard, Colossus in the infield. I've always wanted to go up there and look, Joey, that's where we're at right now. This is a great camera shot from that infield scoreboard. There she is. I'm loving this. This is just a great day of racing. Doesn't feel like a Monday to me.
Well, and you see two distinct lines right now. There's an outside lane. It's not all the way up by the wall, and then there's just creeping it around the bottom. And like I said, this is 18 laps into the race. This is going to change again another 18 laps from now, and so on as this race goes.
Just past the halfway point here in stage 1. Stage 1, 40 laps. Stage 2, 50 laps. The final stage, 60 laps.
What a battle inside the top 5. You can see Creed's gapped him a bit, but Crafton's been dedicated to that top line, and he's making it work.
Sheldon Creed and his team were not happy at all with their truck when they practiced initially on Friday, but they have got that thing tuned up. And Kyle Larson, who we heard from pit road, not quite as happy with his truck, trying to find his way around with Chase Briscoe in the 0-4 slipping underneath.
Now that was a great example. I know he was sideways, but it was a great example, Joey, of a truck that won't turn. He kicked her sideways, and it never would go left for him.
Well, that's what happens here on this dirt tracks, is if your car's tight, you're forced as a driver to try to pitch your truck somehow. It won't naturally do it when you turn to the left, so you got to go in with a ton of speed. You got to jab the brakes maybe. You got to hit the gas pedal in the middle of the corner, and it's really hard to do that. If you carry too much speed, you get too high, and you get up, I call them the cornflakes way up top.
Martin Truex Jr. take a look inside of the 88 of Crafton, as we've got a caution with the 42 going around, and that's Carson Hocevar. Hocevar running that Brian Clausen scheme with the big BC on the hood. Of course, the great dirt racer who we lost back in August of 2016. On the dirt at Bristol. Welcome back to the Camping World Truck Series, racing on the dirt at Bristol.
There goes the dirt.
That dirt spray courtesy Kyle Larson. And there's the right front of Kevin Harvick. No harm, no foul there, though, right?
I think he's good to go. He's going to cool his right front tire nice now. That's what I tell him if I was his crew chief.
Do you believe all that stuff you hear, Joey?
No, not at all. The BS meter, you can read all that.
The crew chief tell you those things, and you just in your helmet, you're thinking, that's not right.
Okay.
I can't give a rhythm down. Just, I think it's pretty good. You're as good as anybody. It's hard, you know. You're passing, so you're doing good.
Back green.
Back green and 3 wide. That's the theme of today, I think.
Didn't take long. Zane Smith in that white 21, poking his nose in between Martin Truex Jr. and Matt Crafton.
That's a beautiful sight.
Martin Truex Jr., he looks like he's been racing dirt his whole life.
He does. He's pretty impressive right now, how comfortable he feels running the top. You know, I feel like running the bottom, someone that doesn't have much dirt experience, is a little bit easier to do. Running the top is challenging, and as you can see, Truex is doing a good job. You're not getting the truck too sideways, just kind of taking what it gives him, and really moving forward early in this race.
Another truck that's impressive right now is that Ford truck of John Hunter Nemechek as he pokes it 3 wide in the middle. He fell back early, but as we talked about the track transitioning, he's really picked up the pace now. Dives 3 wide into turn 3. Can he make it stick down there?
Side by side with Zane Smith, and Smith's not giving up that position easily. Second place has changed hands as Truex has gotten around Stuart Friesen, and the 18 of Chandler Smith goes around, and Tyler Ankrum took the worst end of that collision.
That's unfortunate.
Ankrum trying to avoid it. Haley Deegan got through there without contact, but Tyler Ankrum did not. And boy, it has been a tough start to the season for Tyler Ankrum in that 26 team. Does not have a top 10 finish yet this season after making the playoffs each of the last 2 years.
There's from the scoreboard, he gets a little bit of a bump from Austin Wayne Self, does Smith, and around he goes and just slipping to the bottom. Couple of trucks.
Haley Deegan and Kyle Larson both got around there. Under caution at Bristol. Welcome back to the Pinty's truck race on dirt here at Bristol. Just a couple of laps left here in stage 1 with Sheldon Creed taking the green. For the final lap of stage 1, Martin Truex Jr. on the outside. Zane Smith in that white 21 in third.
Oh, and Crafton losing a lot of valuable ground as he slid
and
high.
Side by side as they rubbed a little paint between Creed and Truex, and it's going to be Martin Truex Jr. getting stage 1.
Whoa. What just happened?
Wow. What about
that
Sheldon?
Was amazing.
Sheldon Creed dominated. That's a talented race car driver right there. You put him in anything and he will figure it out, and that was an impressive charge.
From 15th to 1st, Truex Jr. winning stage 1.
And I think this goes to show just race car driver is a race car driver. They're going to figure it out.
And Truex Jr. has done just that. He figured it out and won stage 1 at Bristol.
Ugh.
The Major League Baseball regular season is upon us, and on Saturday it'll be the Braves taking on Bryce Harper and the Phillies. And then the reigning champion Dodgers battle the Rockies. Coverage begins 3 o'clock Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Check them out on Saturday. And later today on Fox, the Cup guys will be on track, and we're looking forward to that. Seeing the Cup cars on the dirt for the first time since 1970.
Wow.
Yeah, and our man Joey Logano will be down there taking care of his Cup car as well, and I'm glad to have him up here in the booth with us for this race. Let's go downstairs as these pit stops have begun at the end of stage 1 with Jamie Little.
A little mixed bag, as you guys were mentioning. Some stayed out. Look at Stuart Friesen right here. That is a Swiffer that you just use at home. That is what these guys are using to wipe the dust so they can see out the front. Friesen's truck pretty good. He just put the blame on himself on the restart, spun the tires, didn't get what he needed. Meanwhile, Larson, we talked about him. Truck will not turn. He wanted some adjustments there, so they brought him in, said they're going to go back on some of the adjustments from Friday's practice to help him turn a little bit. And now keep in mind, the guys going over the wall, we're going old school right here. These are mechanics and fabricators going over the wall. Their original pit crews, the highly trained, highly skilled athletes, they're not here this weekend, so they have 3 minutes to take their time, get the adjustments, get the tires on, and fuel. Regan.
Well, it's so very unique to see how calm and cool and collected things are in the pits compared to what we're normally used to. Guys running around and rapidly trying to change stuff. As the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed was coming down pit road, crew chief Jeff Sankowitz basically said quietly and calmly to one of his crew members, just change the air pressure a little bit. That truck has been too tight. They're continuing to work on that to try and make it just a little bit on entry, a little bit less tight on entry, which has been his problem all weekend long. The 51 truck, your now leader, Martin Truex Jr., a little bit different story over there for those guys. Martin has been very, very happy with the truck. All he asked for was basically a tear-off and a drink, and usually when the driver wants a tear-off and a drink, that's a good sign for things to come.
Well, Truex Jr. did win stage 1. Everybody pitted except 2 drivers. Stuart Friesen in the 52 and John Hunter Nemechek in the 4.
Wonder why?
Well, why don't we find out?
I'll ask him.
Sure.
Stuart Friesen, Michael Waltrip, and the Fox Boys. Do you copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
I told you I was going to get on the OCB and give you a holler. Why not pit? You look in your mirror and everybody else did. What's the strategy, bud?
Well, we're only laying 2 sets here, so I don't feel like the track's that abrasive right this second. But it'll probably go that way, so we'll come at halfway and get a set of tires and then have a set for the end in case things get crazy.
They are crazy. It sure is fun to watch. I need a dirt lesson, buddy, real quick. It's turning black in the corners down low. Does that mean it's taking rubber? Where are we at in the transition?
Pretty early in the transition. It was actually in really, really good shape, better than what I thought. So props to the track crew for that. But yeah, it's starting to transition. The black is just kind of slick right now, but it's also abrasive. So as it gets more black top to bottom, it's probably just going to get a little more abrasive as it goes. But having fun, man. It's racing pretty damn cool.
It sure is cool to watch. Y'all are doing a great job. Have fun, more fun, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, 10-4, and thanks to Pinty's for broadcasting this coast to coast in Canada for all our fellow Canadian race fans. Appreciate them.
Indeed. Thanks, Mike and Stuart. Little house cleaning being done inside the old workspace. Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile. Having a little extra fun on the dirt. The Camping World Truck Series. Martin Truex Jr., the winner of Stage 1. Welcome back. Camping World Truck Series racing on FS1 today, presented by Blue Emu.
And as a race car driver, that's your friend, that Blue Emu. It takes away all the aches and pains. And, Joey, you won't stink.
Well, that's great. That's great.
That's always
no one
good.
wants to stink.
Yeah. Hey, for those of you looking for The Herd with Colin Cowherd, currently airing on FS2 today, and it'll switch back over to FS1 at the conclusion of our truck race. So if you're looking for Colin and The Herd, FS2 currently.
And we've had a herd of trucks battling for that lead for sure. What exciting action we're seeing on the track, Regan.
Well, exciting action on the track and a little excitement in the pits for Zane Smith. We know that the format's different this weekend. Many of the teams and crews are trying to learn and understand what the sequence is they're supposed to do things in. Unfortunately, the team of Zane Smith, they actually fueled the truck first before changing tires. That's a no-no. Because of that, they're going to have to go to the back of the field here. Tough Break was running really well. A driver that wasn't overly optimistic after our practice Friday. He looked really good early on in this race. Jamie?
Well, just taking a look at the tire wear here for Austin Hill, who's running 6th right now. These came off him, but look at this. This is the one everybody's concerned about. The right rear looks great. They could probably use this later for an emergency set if they need, but just to compare, that's 40 laps, guys. This is 67, a right rear that came off during practice. So something to keep an eye on later on as this track dries out and these guys are harder on that right rear.
That looks like the tire you're used to, Joey.
Yeah.
Slick.
Yeah, we heard Stuart Friesen talking about as the track dries up, it becomes more abrasive, and I think you will see tires like that. I've tried to ask a million questions to dirt guys, and they say, you know, when the track is wet, they don't wear tires out that much. Maybe blister them, but they don't wear a whole bunch. And I feel like Stuart must know that after all his dirt experience, and we'll see how his strategy plays out for him. You know, he has a track position right now.
On board there with Bubba Wallace. Bubba, one of 6 Cup drivers, doing double duty today. And you mentioned Stuart Friesen. He's doing double duty today as well. He'll make his Cup debut a little later this afternoon, 4 o'clock
cool.
on Fox.
I can't wait to watch him run a Cup car.
Hey, the impact of the pandemic on youth sports has been significant. And while recovery has started in some communities, kids most in need are still on the sidelines, and we encourage you to visit goodsports.org to learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. So visit goodsports.org to learn more if you would.
How fun is it watching the kids enjoying this dirt racing here at Bristol? So many smiles, so much fun.
It looked like a snack break to me. Everyone was eating. Good time. There's no dust flying right now. You're not going to get in your food.
You know, tires, a topic of conversation. Michael talked with Stuart about it. Jamie's report, of course, showing it. Tire management as this track begins to change, and, of course, throughout the course of the Cup race later today as well. Tire management will be key. How about our leader, the 52 of Friesen, Jamie?
Well, one of the really cool stories coming in, we had a husband and wife team attempting to make this race together. Jessica Friesen wanted to qualify, but obviously we got rained out. So today she's actually sitting up in the stands on the radio as a second spotter. This was her just moments ago.
They're out here with some like little pillars on the exits of 2 and 4 on the top. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. It might be too far out, but just to give you a heads up.
10-4.
Stuart told me he loves having her on the radio. And by the way, guys, they announced this morning she will run at Knoxville, the next dirt race for the Truck Series. So that's great news.
Indeed.
How cool is that to have your wife on the radio telling you where to drive?
And
My wife always tells me how to drive.
Yeah, and you better listen to her, too. You better listen. When she speaks, you listen, right?
That's right. That's right. How cool is that?
Well, Jessica Friesen, a veteran dirt racer herself, grew up in a racing family, the Zimkin family, and she's a quality race car driver. I was disappointed with the rain.
Me too.
We weren't able to get her in the field.
She can really go.
Getting ready for stage 2, the truck race here at Bristol. Stuart Friesen and John Hunter Nemechek stayed out, and they lead the field.
It is crazy watching the wheel spin when trying to get the speed. These guys are never wide open. All the way down the straightaway, they are not getting it hooked up at all.
And that comes from a guy that was on the track and knows that if you mat it, sounds cool, but it doesn't go anywhere.
One around.
20 of Spencer Boyd has gone around, but stayed green as he gathers it up and gets rolling again. Martin Truex Jr. has slipped underneath the 4 of Nemechek for second, and now Truex on the outside of Friesen for the lead.
So he went low to pass second. Now he's going high to get the lead. That's a fast truck.
Well, and that's new tires too, guys, against old tires. You may think it's a dirt track and tires don't mean anything. It definitely does. And another thing that might be too is that he has more load of fuel. He has more weight on those rear tires that might be giving him more drive as well. We'll have to see if that's the truth or it's just tires. I don't know.
Martin Truex Jr. was impressive in the Cup practice, and when you talk to some different teams around the Cup garage about who impressed them, and Martin Truex Jr.'s name was usually one of the first mentioned, and he is taking care of business here in the truck race as well. Very impressive.
Another guy that's very impressive is Chase Briscoe. He's raced his way into the top 10 here at the start of the stage 2. There's the 04 truck battling with Todd Gilliland and takes that spot. Put him up into the 9th, and there's Austin Wayne Self in the 22. He's been impressive.
Having a good run.
Really charging toward the front.
And the battle for second. Friesen on the outside, Creed on the inside. Creed did come during that pit stop and get tires. Friesen did not.
Clear.
It's fun listening right there. You can hear how much less throttle they have compared to the first, 20 laps of this race.
And how hard is it not to just keep pushing it down and listen, but when you hear those tires spin, it doesn't do any good.
You're not going to just make more noise. It might sound cool and you might wear your tires out more, but that's all you're accomplishing at that point.
I would like to talk to you about that. We hear tire management's important. How do you manage tires when you're sideways and spinning them like that?
Yes, that's the hard part, right? It's just trying to use a little bit just to keep the momentum going, but you don't want to spin your tires. It's hard to do, and it's really hard to explain how to do that. You can see one spinning out in the interview here.
John Hunter.
So John Hunter Nemechek, who restarted on the front row, and then Derek Kraus comes in. Timothy Peters collected as well.
Man,
Derek Kraus just could not get it stopped and plowed into Nemechek.
I don't know.
That's a lot of damage there to Kraus.
And that's a long time to sit there too before getting piled into.
And some of this, we've talked about this. As a track gets slicker, when a car spins out in front of you, you see a lot of fluid coming out of Nemechek's car. That's probably going to be the end for him. But when a car starts spinning and you hit the brakes and the track's so slick, you just start spinning out too, and it's the slide for life right into the crash. And that's going to be something we're going to see all day, not only in the truck race, but in the Cup race as well. Hopefully not with me.
Well, John Hunter Nemechek had been top 10. In fact, the only driver top 10 in all 4 of the races so far. And it's a big day for John Hunter here in the next day or so. His wife was supposed to be induced to deliver their baby today, and because the race got pushed back a day, they said, well, can you hold on and we'll do that tomorrow? So Taylor and John Hunter, even though that certainly didn't work out the way he had hoped, he's got some big highlights coming his way in the next 24 hours or so.
You just wonder if maybe Kraus got bumped into by the 25. He tried to slow down, got run into from behind, because that was a long time after the initial spin.
And he just gave a little round of applause to Matt Crafton, I believe. He got tagged on corner entry, and he gave him a round of applause. I believe there's sarcasm there.
I was just getting ready to say, not very sincere, was he? Martin Truex Jr., Stage 1 winner. He's out front again here in Stage 2 on the dirt at Bristol. Welcome back to Camping World Truck Series Racing from Bristol. Under caution, John Hunter Nemechek got a little help from the 88 of Matt Crafton, and Nemechek went around, and in the process, the 19 of Derek Kraus there in that white truck. Watch him slide into Nemechek, and Timothy Peters bumps into it as well.
Better keep crew chief under order before I punch him in his throat. Don't you ever stare at me like that.
Well, temper's starting to flare. It's not just one big happy trucking family, is it?
No. Someone
when-
looked at somebody with mean eyes.
And you know what? When throat punching becomes a part of it, it's getting pretty serious.
You know it's real. And I watching the replay there, obviously Crafton got in the back of John Hunter. I don't believe it's intentional. I don't think there's anything coming from that. I think, Matt was probably just trying to roll to the top, trying to roll momentum to the outside of him, and just misjudged it a little bit. And it doesn't take much. As slick as a track is, maybe early in the race you can get away with that kind of contact and not spin the car out in front of you. But now, as slick as the track is and as slow as they have to go around the track to keep the car in control, all it takes is a tap to send you around. And that's what we've seen happen right there.
Well, and tempers always seem to be short. It doesn't matter whether we're on the pavement, the concrete, or the dirt. And the crew chief's up on the haulers, so they're actually positioned closer to one another even than normal if they'd be on a pit box down on pit lane.
It'd take a commitment, though, to hop over to one of those.
It would.
To go onto someone else's truck.
Adrenaline can do anything now.
Hey, later today, it's the best season ever, and it continues right here in Bristol with the Cup Series. First dirt track race in more than 50 years. The green flag waves at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, over on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And Joey Logano, who's up in the booth with us today, will be down there a little bit later this afternoon driving that car. They will take the cover off of it, though, to make it a little easier for you.
Oh, it's nice and shiny under there, too. It's ready to rock and roll. They got it tuned up for me, so we'll see. I got to start in 10th, so I can see the front from there.
There's a couple of guys you'll have to deal with as we go racing this afternoon, Joey. Both Bubba Wallace.
You seen
Kenton
Harvick there?
Harvick.
He's got the dirt goggles on.
He looks serious. He said, we interviewed him yesterday from inside of his truck during practice the day before. He said it's the most fun he's had. And then we talked to him during the race, the attempted race yesterday. Wasn't the most fun he's ever had. He said it was a little dangerous.
Well, there's something about vision that was a real big issue the other day when they started their heat races, and the track was not quite ready. Yeah. And boy, oh boy, these guys couldn't see where they're going off of turn 2.
Even the glasses didn't help him see through all that mud.
Hey, you ever operated one of those things, Joey?
Yeah, I've seen those ones at the gas station. At your local Shell has those a lot of times.
You'll be using that later today, that's for sure. Hey, we heard that radio from the 88 side that Crafton and Nemechek get together. How about the flip side of that? There's always 2 sides of the coin and 2 sides of the argument. Let's hear from the Nemechek camp.
Sluggers, listen to this. You can kiss my rosy for them anymore, sluggers. They can stick it right up where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
Well,
wow.
So one side equally as upset as the other.
Yeah,
And,
it's a beautiful sunny
we
day.
went from we went from throat punching to kissing. So I mean,
But I
Yeah,
think
it's
they
getting
were in
better.
the same context.
oh, they were.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It was just a different way to express the same thing. But boy, isn't it a beautiful day.
It's still Bristol, guys. It might be dirt on it, but there's still tempers, and it's still Bristol.
And that's just the beginning of what we'll hear throughout the course of the day, and you'll hear on Radioactive on Race Hub later in the week. Under caution on the dirt at Bristol. We're in stage 2 for the Camping World Truck Series.
welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. We are dirt racing finally, and we're trucking style. We're under caution right now for an incident between the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek and the 88 of Matt Crafton. What exactly happened there?
I don't know. Matt just flat out ran over me, so that one will be in the memory bank. But we're fine. Didn't hit anything, and then there towards the end of that whole deal, the 19, I guess him and his spotter both need a pair of glasses, so I'll have those for him at Richmond.
Well, good luck to you. On a brighter side, welcoming their baby here in the next coming couple days. He'll get home sooner than expected, Vince.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd be all that happy about that. He'd rather have hung around and gone to the finish. How many cars or trucks go by, Mike?
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 22. Almost got in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Made it. 2 didn't. And that's what John Hunter Nemechek was frustrated about, that he felt like the spotters could have done a better job. But in Derek Krause's defense, you know, he dives in there sideways, catches a bump from Peters, and it just went out of control for him. But
well, that was a lot of trucks that went by before.
Certainly the other 18 made it.
And to that point, though, 18 trucks went by, but all of them were still going pretty fast. No one slowed down. Like, the caution must not have come out, or the spotters didn't see it or relay it. And this is one of the racetracks where the spotter has the best view. You can see the whole racetrack, without really even turning your head. So a kind of a surprising moment there.
Haley Deegan started 22nd. She's up to 13th.
And we saw in practice on Friday, Vince, she's aggressive. She likes to hang that truck out, and, man, making some great moves, steadily making her way toward the front.
And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't she win a K&N Pro race on dirt?
Yep,
at Las Vegas. And I stayed up till about 3 in the morning to see the finish of it. It took forever.
I think it was a bump and run, if I remember right.
It was, with the lap to go. It was an awesome move.
A little experience then.
She's comfortable on the dirt, that's for sure, Jamie.
She really is, but it's a totally different style. Off-road trucks, you hang it out, you fly through the air, you jump. So she tried to do that in first practice and hung it out, but she burned up the right rear so much so that in final practice, they actually had to go to another set and put her right rear on it. So she's really trying to keep that in perspective and doing a really nice job early on.
Yeah, she is her rookie season here in the Camping World Truck Series, and just trying to get those laps and gain experience, but she has been exciting at every level and in everything she's done.
Well, you got to be excited if you're going to jump 10 feet off the ground like that in your truck. But what I've loved about her win on asphalt, it was a bump and run as well, just like the one on dirt was. And what she's done this year, Vince, is just with every lap, steadily better and better and better. A lot of experience you see her gaining with the way she drives that truck.
Hasn't really gotten the results that he was looking for. And there's John Hunter Nemechek still trying to get his point across.
A bow, too. So the round of applause and the bow. The bow is a Kyle Busch move. That might be where he learned that from. Usually in different contexts with Kyle, though.
I don't think Matt Crafton's sweating it.
Well, we heard John Hunter Nemechek say it was in the memory bank, but I'm telling you, that was a racing incident. He just got in a little bit deeper and sent John Hunter. That doesn't make John Hunter feel any better, but Matt Crafton did not intentionally spin out John Hunter.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was an accident. And it's hard to say that you go up to someone and I'm sorry it was an accident. No, it doesn't fix your car. It doesn't help anything, but at least it's the effort to say I'm sorry.
We've had a nice break here. Let's go racing.
And we will be coming green this time here in stage 2. Martin Truex Jr. and Ben Rhodes will restart on the front row. Truex Jr. won stage 1, started 15th, charged through the field, and has been very sporty today. And the green is back out. Rhodes around the top. Truex right back on the bottom and holding on to that spot as they're side by side.
And you just see there's 2 really good racing lanes right now.
Well, that's what you want from a dirt track, or from any track really, but have multiple grooves, and Truex ends up securing that spot from Rhodes. Starting to see the track really dry out though, and dust is flying.
Look at what Bubba Wallace is dealing with. Let's listen for a corner or two. can just feel him wanting to get on that gas.
There's nowhere to go. It seems like, you know, his full throttle is like half throttle for him right now. That's all they're getting.
Chase Briscoe in the 0-4 challenging Stuart Friesen for the 5th spot.
Bumper outside.
We've talked about Briscoe's steady progress up through the field, and he continues to march. Great run for that 0-4 team.
Boy, a couple of good dirt racers right there, Friesen and Briscoe. Even though their background is in different types of vehicles. A little 3-wide deeper back in the field. The 21 is Zane Smith. The 11, Bubba Wallace. And we're under caution as one has gone around.
Jennifer Jo Cobb pointing in the wrong direction in her Fastener Supply number 10 truck. She got the free pass early and had remained on the lead lap, but I think she's going to lose it here.
Look at the dust on the windshield. Hard to see.
Under caution at Bristol. Oh, what a great view. Bristol Motor Speedway. Welcome back to Camping World Truck Series Racing on FS1. It's presented by Blue Emu. Absolutely beautiful day here today. Now, this is the difference on the left-hand side of the screen last year on the concrete, this year on the dirt here at Bristol.
It couldn't be any different. Listen, that's wide open for a long time. And how clear you can see, how low you're running. And now, on the right, you can't see anything.
Can't see.
But you got some options, Joey. When you get to the corner you can't see, at least you can miss it, 2 or 3 lanes and still be okay.
Thanks, that's great.
Yeah, that's
I can't wait. This is going to be awesome. And this is what it's going to be like the rest of the race, guys. This dust that we see, the dry racetrack, it's just going to keep slickening off more and more. The dust is going to keep happening, and you're going to keep getting your windshield cleaner out, as we see Bubba doing now.
Yeah, Bubba does windows.
You got to get good at driving with your knee today. to be able to clean your windshield.
Now, are you for your race later this afternoon? Do you have your own little Swiffer window cleaner apparatus?
I have one. It's on magnets right next to me on the roll bar. So I got that in there.
Looks like a decent view from Crafton's windshield. So.
First, we have Joey up here in the booth with us, and half dozen Cup drivers down on track. And there you see where they are running. Martin Truex Jr. has been ultra impressive today, the Stage 1 winner. And Larson back in 25th.
I was going to say, that's kind of a surprise. You know, you have Truex leading and Larson struggling. We didn't see that one coming.
Getting ready for this restart.
I promised flowers for everybody. If he won, he's got a long way to go.
Martin Truex Jr. on the outside for this restart. Ben Rhodes on the bottom.
Briscoe sticking it 3 wide there off 2. Squeezed out.
Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill in that second row side by side. Sheldon Creed, who was up front for a good portion of this race today, back and forth currently. There's Creed in the 2 truck.
You see Truex is just so fast. He opted for the outside lane on that restart. It took him a lap or so, but boy, once he gets that thing hooked up, see you later.
And Norm Benning has come to a stop down in the mud. Boy, you get down in that low area below the groove there, and it gets a bit muddy. But away and rolling is Norm.
NASCAR generally frowns upon you stopping on the track to get a caution, and that's what Norm did. He had a flat right rear and brought her to a halt, or is it the left rear?
Left rear.
Try to find Norm in there somewhere.
Hey, Norm.
A lot of dust.
Norm.
You see here, he's got a flat tire.
And
he's hanging on to it.
Stops.
And the crew going to work. How about our leader, Martin Truex Jr., Regan?
Well, Vince, you guys just noted in the booth a second ago, him choosing that outside lane on that restart. That was very strategic on their part. The previous restart, he was on the bottom. Felt like it took his truck too long to get going before he could get clear and get the lead back. Wanted to use this most recent restart as an opportunity to try something different, see if it worked. So far, that worked pretty well for him.
Well, it's not working out for Kyle Larson. Look at that right front.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's obviously not a good thing to have your right front fender off, but if you're going to choose a place to have your right front fender off,
this would be it.
Here in Martinsville might be the 2 best places.
Well, as we see Larson's issue, how about some of those that are regulars here in the series? Ben Rhodes, already a couple of wins this year, running second. Austin Hill, you know, he didn't have very good results at Eldora when the trucks ran there, but he has been impressive today.
Yeah, I've loved watching both he and Ben charge. They've been really strong. Friesen's still on those older tires. I really didn't understand the strategy play that he talked about. I mean, you can put on tires in the next break, and it doesn't matter how many tires you have after that. You can't put them on.
Exactly. What NASCAR's rules are is you can only change tires during the breaks, during the stage breaks themselves. So the only advantage you gain by not pitting is track position. And he had great track position before, so saving a set for later, as he said, doesn't add up, but maybe he knows something we don't know. That could happen.
Okay, well,
I've been wrong once or twice. Or 50 times.
I was wrong once. I thought I was wrong, but I was right.
We'll move on from that. For those of you looking for The Herd with Colin Cowherd, it is currently airing on FS2. The Herd will switch back over to FS1 at the conclusion of our truck race here at Bristol.
And there's a good view of the racetrack here. Look at the top side of this track. I call them the cornflakes. I don't know what you call them, but all that, those dust balls and all that, that's slick. You don't want to get in that. You get in that, you're going to be sliding probably into the wall or lose a bunch of spots.
Ryan Truex has gone to pit road with his engine overheating a bit in that Circle B diecast truck. He hasn't run great so far today. Maybe maybe some problems under the hood has caused that.
First time that Ryan and Martin have raced in the same race. You got to go back to a Cup race back in 2014, the last time they were in the same race together. Ryan's day not going nearly as smoothly as Martin's. Martin Truex Jr. has a stage 1 win and has led better than 30 laps. And social media alive with their approval of what's happening here today at Bristol.
Yeah, I talked about fun. That everybody's going to have fun, Joey. There's throat punching and putting things where the sun doesn't shine going on over there.
There was a trophy, and listen, you got Martin Truex taking the bottom this time as well.
Green back out.
Cover your bottom. He's looking. He's there. Still there, bottom and top. All right, all clear, all clear, all clear.
I think Truex is going to look back at that restart and say, maybe that top lane was better than I thought.
You know,
Ben Rhodes was able to take the lead and clear him, but it's not over yet. Truex has got a very fast race truck, and he's good on the bottom, just kind of creeping around there. This will be a fun race to watch.
Also could be a case where he wanted to try the bottom in case he gets stuck down there later to see how it would respond. And you've said it, Joey. He's fast and he's hanging right in there.
Rhodes will lead this lap, however.
2 by 2.
And this is when you got to be really patient, really patient on the bottom of the racetrack. You can't drive it in there too hard and slide up. You're trying to keep your truck as straight as possible. Oh, that's me driving in there pretty hard. And the funny thing is, you say you drove it in there hard. He really didn't. It's just no grip at all. You have to slow up way more than you think.
Still side by side for the lead. And Truex finally takes it from Ben Rhodes. Sheldon Creed in third, Austin Hill fourth, Stuart Friesen filling out the top 5, but there's good battles for positions throughout the course of the field, and the caution is back out as Myatt Snyder has gone around. Snyder full-time in the Xfinity Series, having a good time running the trucks here at Bristol.
There's something to be said about the state of the racetrack right now. As dry and slick as it is, remember when this race started and we ran 15, 18 laps green without a caution? And now it's a lot harder to get around this place. It's a lot easier to spin out, and we're seeing caution after caution now.
Yeah, it's certainly getting a little more challenging. Daniel Suarez with some pretty heavy damage there on the right side as well. We're starting to see a lot more contact throughout the field.
And it's just going to continue to ramp up as they try to squeeze into places that aren't quite there.
Makes us look forward even more to a little bit later today when the Cup guys will be out there. We'll hear Joey saying nice things on the radio about his fellow competitors. The first Cup Series race on dirt in more than 50 years. Going to be fun. The green flag waving just after 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
Look how pristine those things look, Vince, when you tune in Fox this afternoon.
Take a picture of it now.
Watch the 0-2 of Suarez down on the bottom. And Norm Benning there in the 6. Slow in front of him, and Suarez tries to go around down on the inside and ends up getting contact.
Oh.
When you're slow and running into things, that's not a good day for you. Everybody wants to be fast, and certainly Norm's in a bind right here. 4 wide at Bristol. Generally, somebody's going to get run into.
And they did.
Yeah, and for Suarez, I mean, they were already 3 wide. He's on the bottom. He's thinking, well, there's a gap way down here on the bottom. I'll get around him. And he left him a lot of room. The problem is I'm not sure Norm knew there was 2 cars out there, and that's when I think it was Harvick out there.
And Kyle Larson has had that right front damage as well. Now that piece of the truck was sticking out at a 90-degree angle a little earlier, so they've gotten a little help with some other contact that's flattened it out a bit.
I'm gonna tell you what, everything isn't rosy for him today.
He's got a weapon on the side of his car, though.
Well, we've seen a lot of changes with the dirt, Jamie.
Well, Austin Hill's running 4th right now. He said on the exit of 4, there's a crater, as he called it, and said it swallowed up his truck. Trying to get an up-close look at it here. You can see right there, every lap it seems to get worse for them. A lot of drivers also talking about the right rear just gone now. As you see the blue groove, the track is getting really rubbered in, and we've heard drivers talk about how abrasive that is. So it's all about hanging on right here until the end of the stage.
Thank you, Jamie. See Martin Truex Jr. in the 51. Going to be less than 10 laps to go here in the second stage when we go back to green. So there's what the track looked like on lap 1.
Very inviting, isn't it? Looks sticky. Looks like you could really hang on to it.
Hammer down right there.
And then what it looks like now. Big difference.
Hammer far from down.
You know,
no hammering at all.
We talked about Stuart Friesen's decision to stay out at the end of stage 1. He's only lost a few positions. I mean, he went from the lead to 5th, but he's hung on pretty good with those old tires while everybody else had come and got fresh.
Well, he gets to get fresh ones here in about 7 laps, and we can see if he'll go up there and have something for Martin Truex Jr. Ben Rhodes, maybe just an adjustment away as well. Our regular truckers are really performing well with Creed right up there as well.
Yep, Sheldon Creed restarting on the bottom lane, second row. There's a good look at the 22 of Austin Wayne Self. He's had a good run today. He's inside the top 10. Pace truck is off. There will be 6 to go here in stage 2 when they take the green.
Truex opted for the top and is going to get the lead easily from that position. So he learned, like you said, Joey, that bottom wasn't working for him.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit's launch and just being able to carry that momentum through 1 and 2, where he's able to clear Ben Rhodes.
I love this shot, man. These guys are all over one another. Another truck that's pulled into contention is a 24 of Rafael Lessard running right there up inside the top 10. Rafael's been impressive.
And Chase Briscoe has slipped inside the top 5. He's gotten that 4th position from Sheldon Creed. Riding with Crafton, who's 10th. There's the 98 of Enfinger, Crafton's teammate.
98 inside, 4 to go.
His bottom's getting stronger and stronger. Look at the bottom lane just being able to keep moving forward as Crafton gets just too high.
Yeah.
And gets up in the slick stuff there.
Parker Kligerman taking advantage in the 75. Everybody wants some stage points here as we come closer to the end of stage 2. 3 laps remaining.
I like Crafton's spirit, but it isn't working, Joey. He's trying to make that top work, but he just keeps falling back.
He's trying, and it looks cool, but he ain't going forward at the moment. He's able to make 3 and 4 a little bit better up top, but 1 and 2, it doesn't seem like he's able to make it work well.
It's working well for Martin Truex Jr. He's stretching it out to more than a second lead over Ben Rhodes with just a couple of laps left here in stage 2.
That's a truck right there, 52 of Friesen. He's licking his chops for this stage break so he can get those tires. Todd Gillen around. Nice performance out of that 38 truck.
And Lessard in the 24, as you mentioned, Michael.
That's been fun to watch.
Yeah,
He's
the
just
Canadian.
been right there. He was all the way up near the top 5, dropped back a couple of spots, but really talented young driver.
Last lap here in stage 2. No pressure for Martin Truex Jr. He's going to come around and take the green and white checkers, and he has won both stages so far this afternoon.
Austin Wayne Self up to 8th position. So many good underdogs coming through here on the dirt in Bristol.
Is anybody going to better that man? Martin Truex Jr., plenty of reason to smile at Bristol. What a great view. Welcome back to the Penny's Truck Race on Dirt here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 2 stages in the books for the Camping World Truck Series, and the driver of that truck has been out front at the end of both stages. And Martin Truex Jr., he has been very good today. Jamie Little.
Well, Stuart Friesen says he needs grip in the front and the rear as well. They'll try to help him out there with an air pressure adjustment. Remember, he stayed out last time, so this will be the first time he gets some fresh tires on there. We also have Austin Hill that came in earlier, but he said that right rear was gone about 20 laps ago. He'll be happy to get this second set of brand new tires on there. And Chase Briscoe in, he wants some help with drive off. That dirt racing ace putting it to the test today. Started 33rd all the way up to 4th. See what he can do in that 04. Let's go to Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, your leader in the 51, Martin Truex Jr., that race truck is very good still right now. Crew chief asked him, what do you need to change for this last run? He said, it would appear I don't have to change anything, very calmly and excitedly. So good to hear from Martin that he likes that truck. The 99 of Ben Rhodes right behind him. He's been working on his brakes right now, using the adjustments that they have in the race truck to try and make that truck get through the corner a little bit better. He's been too tight, needs it to rotate so that he can drive off a little bit straighter. So they're going to try and make an adjustment for that. And on top of that, the last 7 laps of that run, they went ahead and told him to go ahead and use up the tires more than he had been. Unfortunately, they weren't able to catch Martin Truex Jr. during that process. And the 2 truck, Sheldon Creed, that truck has been landing violently into the corner all day long, something we typically talk about on concrete Bristol. He's fighting that same problem on dirt Bristol, to where it hits the racetrack, shoots him up the racetrack, and he gets very tight. They're going to make a pretty significant adjustment with spring rubbers. Again, something that we don't always see on normal pit stops because of the time that it takes.
Yeah, each team, each pit stop at the end of these stages lasts 3 minutes, so you get to do all the work that you deem necessary in that 3 minutes, but when the time is up, it's time to go.
How about it's time to talk to Ben Rhodes and see what he's got to do in order to catch Martin Truex Jr. Hey, Ben Rhodes, it's Michael Waltrip and the boys in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Gotcha, Michael.
What's it going to take to beat that 51? He's cruising. Have you got something for him? Great move through the field, too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure here. You know, you got limited adjustments in the race, but I know my crew's doing a good job fixing me up right now. I just need more forward drive, really. That's where he's beating us, is just on the throttle off the corners. But his restarts are good, but I'm going to try to be a little better here. I'm kind of hoping that it might come down to a green-white checker between him and I. That might be our best option.
All right, bud. Thanks for talking to us. I tell you, it's so much fun to watch, and most people are having fun. A couple of people want to fight, though. Keep it on the fun side.
Yeah, will do. Thank you, Michael.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. has won both stages so far today, but the last 7 times a trucker has won the first 2 stages, they did not win the race. Truck starting to roll after this stage 2 break. Grant Enfinger elected not to pit, so he moves from 10th to 1st. We'll see how that pays off.
Along with Chase Purdy in that Bama Buggies truck. He's second now. These guys haven't had any track position, and I question this decision, but gaining those spots on the road might pay off, Jamie.
Just want to update a crew member. Jake Griffin is driving the 34, and their weekend got off to a terrible start right after technical inspection on Friday. Their lead fabricator, Matt Wolper, suffered a major heart attack right here in the infield. They sent him to a local hospital where they diagnosed it. Now he is at home, resting comfortably and watching us. The team wanted us to specifically thank the Infield Care Center and all of its staff here for recognizing that he was having a heart attack, got him care, got him out of here. They say they saved his life. So well done, Matt. We know you're watching at home. They're running the decal on that 34 that you saw there.
Good stuff, Jamie. Thank you very much. And we as well send our best wishes to Matt. Griffin, by the way, back in the 36th position. And
that's a place you don't want to visit, but when you do, you know you're going to get great care, and certainly appreciate that for Matt.
Ryan Blaney among those checking out the action. Chase Elliott, everybody on the trucks or on the Cup side will get at it a little bit later this afternoon, including our fellow broadcaster up here in the booth, Joey Logano.
Joey, I'm going to put a little pressure on you.
What's that?
At Atlanta, Blaney joined us in the booth.
And you won the race.
And won the race. And look at you.
Well, then let's just go win the race. It sounds simple enough to me. Yeah. Why not?
They're shining up that 22 to look quite nice. Yeah, so the 22, they're shining it up. They're getting it ready. What'd you think of it on Friday? Did you think you had something that might be a contender today?
I think so. I thought we were a top 5-ish car with the track and the state it was at the end of the practice when it was dry, kind of like it is right now on the racetrack, which I think it will be like that as the race goes. Now the concern for everybody is tires, as everybody had ball tires, especially on the right rear, some on the left rear. Even some teams were fighting with the right front wearing out. So those tires right there, we'll be using them. There's the man with the plan, Paul Wolf, though. He's got me figured out, I hope. He says he does, so I believe him.
Well, he's a good one, that's for sure.
A lot of people might say that if he has you figured out, he's about the only one.
Hey, that's probably right. What do they say? Your crew chief and your wife are probably the two people that know you best.
That's right.
Well, it's been a good run for Chase Briscoe. Started back in that 33rd spot, well inside the top 10, restarting on the outside of the third row in that 04.
It's been fun to watch.
A Huffy bike sponsorship on that 04. A lot of kids happy to have their Huffy under them.
I'm going to go with the Bama Buggy. Oh, that sounds fun, too.
The final stage is underway on the dirt at Bristol.
Ben Rhodes immediately going 3 wide top. Didn't work out, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, Chase Purdy made a nice move there.
Enfinger and Purdy elected to stay out on that end of the stage pit stop session, and Enfinger leads, but he's got pressure from Martin Truex Jr.
That seems to be a theme, doesn't it? The leader under attack by Martin Truex.
Rhodes into that third position, and here comes Truex now for the lead, challenging Enfinger.
And Rhodes tracking, trying to take advantage of the door that Truex is trying to open.
Todd Gilliland and Chase Briscoe right there in 4th and 5th, within striking distance as well.
Right there on the outside, Tim Duggar riding along with Grant Enfinger on the back of that champion truck.
Truex back in front.
You know, and this is what Enfinger was doing. He stayed out thinking he's going to get track position, knowing that he's going to pay the penalty here, as other trucks will be faster than him. But he's hoping that he could hang on to this track position good enough to get a solid finish.
Ben Rhodes, his teammate, was challenging for second, and boy, there are battles throughout the course of the track.
I got to tell you, Larson and Crafton will not give up on making that top work. Larson's made some progress.
And I tell you what, the dirt guys have a better chance of figuring out the top than the guys that typically drive on asphalt. Just having that experience up there, knowing how high to go to get into some of the moisture that, they watered this track in between, this last stage, only on the top side. So they're up there searching for that moisture, trying to get some grip because they know they have, 5-6 laps before that's gone.
Larson in that 44, Stuart Friesen in the 52. Back now in that battle for second between the teammates. Infinger in the 98, Rhodes on the bottom in the 99. Rhodes with a couple of wins already this season. Infinger not racing full-time this year.
And that was tires at its finest. That drive, that launch that he had off the corner, that was the difference.
Remember when Infinger and Chase Briscoe came to the checkered flags, banging doors in Eldora, so Infinger can get it done on the big track, on the dirt tracks.
The 56 of Mike Marlar has slowed, but still rolling, and we're still green.
He wants to make a left really bad, but he just can't. Oh, and it's going to cause a big crash.
Kligerman on the bottom as they go 3 wide, and now the caution has come out, and the contact there with the
Kyle
44 of Larson, and Brett Moffitt has gone around as well. Big hit for Larson in the right side door. There's the 30 of Danny Bone involved in that as well.
The 56 of Marlar had lost momentum off turn 2, was limping down the back straightaway, and when he got to turn 3, there just wasn't anywhere for those faster trucks to go. You got to remember, Joey, and I know you know this, but they're running sideways. It's sort of hard to redirect when you're already sideways, isn't it?
Yeah, you're going as fast as you can to the left as it is, and when you have someone to do more of a turn while you're already trying to go as fast as you can, it's hard to avoid it. And like I said, there's no grip to stop either, and all that's very challenging.
This will show, pictures will tell 1,000 words, but there's a slow truck of Marlar, and then Larson dives in the corner, had no idea he was there. And bam, Danny Bone, nowhere to go. Is that Moffitt around as well?
Yep, right in the center of the track.
You just don't expect a truck to be going that slow. I think that's what happened with Kyle Larson. He went down in the corner. You see, he's right behind the 2 truck there, and when he goes, you can't see anything.
Creed
when
missed
you're right behind Creed, and then he goes down a little bit, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's a truck right there. Where did that come from? And I think that's probably the situation Larson ran into, and by the time he saw it, it's just too late.
Larson said, he shouldn't have been there.
So with 50 to go, Kyle Larson climbs from his truck, and you see those involved. Brett Moffitt, and under red as fluid has leaked out onto the track. Brett Moffitt, by the way, getting married this week.
He is. He's getting married on 4-3-2-1. How about that?
Be easier to remember.
He won't ever forget that.
He better
true,
not.
Huh?
Yeah. And Larson's truck being put on the hook. Well, it's a familiar scene at the front. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead. The day is over for Larson. Bristol Motor Speedway, the Camping World Truck Series, racing on dirt under red with 50 laps remaining after an accident involving Kyle Larson and Danny Bone, Brett Moffitt. And Larson's day is complete, at least as far as this Camping World Truck Series race is concerned. He is done, has climbed from his vehicle, too much damage. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead. Let's go downstairs to Regan.
Well, Vince, Martin Truex does continue to lead this race right now. We talk about dirt racing and how much these racetracks are going to change throughout the course of the event. That truck right now, after this last pit stop, his biggest issue has been it's way rough around the track. He feels like he's actually bottoming out right now. And as you look at the racetrack, you can see it getting a little more rutted up, getting a little bit more damage to the actual track surface itself as this thing plays out. The 99 truck, second place, Ben Rhodes. Take a listen to this radio he had just a moment ago.
Someone's off the speed. Do you want me to let you know? I can barely see out my right side of the window, so when he got in the shade, I couldn't see where he was. I was just trying to come low off the corner, so I'm glad that you told me I couldn't see crap.
So visibility issues already, and that's after their most recent pit stop when they had the opportunity to pull a tear off and get that windshield clean for him. Right now, he does like the adjustments that they made. That truck's got better forward drive, something he was looking for the end of the race to try and make sure that he maybe had that little bit more speed to get up there and battle the 51 truck. And then our third place truck, the number 98 of Grant Emfinger, having a good run after staying out on old tires in that most recent pit stop. That was a little bit of strategy for this team earlier in the race. They discussed possibly doing that to get track position, but also to save a set for the end. So it'll be curious to see if he's able to stay up there, if they take that chance to come down and get another set of tires or not.
Visibility going to be an issue throughout the course of the day today, and you can use that Swiffer apparatus to clean the inside of your windshield under red, but can't do that while you're rolling during the course of the race, so it's going to be challenging.
You can see Bubba in there right now. There's dust all over his suit. He's hanging on.
Let's see what Bubba's thinking. Hey, Bubba, Michael Waltrip and the boys in the Fox booth. You copy?
Oh, Lord. Busting my eardrums out. What's up?
Look left. They're coming at you. I'm just checking in on you. It looks like a lot of fun. You doing all right?
Man, it's been good. Having a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I'll let you get back to work, Mr. Columbia.
Thank you, sir.
He didn't have much to say.
Short.
Start the engine. It's like, leave me alone, Mike.
Yeah, he's got something else to worry about.
That's fun, though. Let's see if anybody else will talk to us.
Just start radioing people up. What the heck?
What's it like for you as a racer when you win a stage or the TV wants to talk to you right in the middle of your job?
You know, it's interesting because, I mean, what other sport really allows, you know, their athlete to do an interview in the heat of the game, right? That doesn't happen anywhere but in NASCAR. And you get these cautions, you get kind of a chance to regroup, and usually if you ask not on the one to go, it's all right. So give it another shot there, Mikey.
Let's see if anybody else will talk to us. Hey, Kevin Harvick, Michael Waltrip, Fox Sports, you copy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing out there? You having fun?
What I can see, yes. Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, to just try to figure out how to pass. That's always been something that I pride myself in, is passing. Today, I'm not near as good at passing, so our Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford F-150 is a lot faster than the driver, that's for sure.
Well, that's a good feeling because the driver's pretty good and you'll get better at it. How much is this helping you for this afternoon's Cup affair?
You know, I think just being comfortable with, you know, the track conditions and everything that's happening right now with the track, I think this is going to be very similar to what we have later this afternoon.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a Hunt Brothers Pizza and a beer, and I'm going to go in the grandstands and watch you boys. So keep up the good work and good luck.
All right, Mikey. Thank you.
He was more in a talkative mood.
Yeah. Well, then he
Happy Harvick right now.
mentioned the Cup race later this afternoon. Just a reminder to you that it's 4 o'clock on Fox. Downstairs to Jamie with Kyle Larson.
And Kyle has been checked and released. That was a big hit for you, Kyle. Was that just not being able to see or just not being able to check up in time?
A little bit of everything. My spotter said they were slowing down the backstretch, and I seen some trucks slowing on the bottom, so I was running the top. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a lot of spots here in the 3. So I committed up top, and there was somebody parked there, and then I slid down the track and got hit by the 30 truck, I think. So just Yeah, we were fighting. Our truck wasn't very great, but we were making adjustments on it and felt like we got our Richmar Florist Chevy better, and actually started trying to work the top there, and just was running about probably where I would have finished anyways. So I still learned some for the Cup race, which is nice. Kind of learn how to pass people. So starting in the back, that should help.
When you jump in your Cup car in a couple hours, Kyle, do you feel like that track will change enough, maybe open up top?
Well, hopefully it does. I hope they can water it a little bit lower than they have been, like a full, truck or a car width and a half more than what they did there. And we probably could have got the top going a little bit better. It's just too far around. Like I was trying to make it work in 3 and 4 and just so far around. But if we could get some more grip a little bit lower and keep the bottom, shined up and slick, I think we could put on a good race, and hopefully it won't be as dusty.
Well, no doubt Kyle Larson will put on a good race coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. Kyle, he mentioned we'll start from the back in that race, the Cup race later this afternoon. They had to make an engine change on Friday.
Talked to him last night, and he was way more confident in his Cup car than he was the truck. He said he thinks he's got a pretty good car. He'll need that. Haley Deegan's been impressive, bring up inside the top 15. She's 16th now, but she's had a good run, and I think she can charge up toward the top 10.
Back downstairs to Regan.
Well, Vince, just to update the 98 of Grant Enfinger, we reported a second ago that he was going to save that set of tires. That indeed is not what they're doing. Their plan was all along to stay out on those tires, take the chance, see if they could gain some track position, keep their truck up front. Evidently, pit reporters still learning the pit rules just a little bit as well. They can't actually stop and take tires unless NASCAR approves them here at the end of the race. So the tires are sitting on pit wall, but they will not get on that truck unless something drastic happens.
Yeah, changing tires only at the end of stages.
Yeah, we were confused up here. Yeah. I didn't want to say anything and sound stupid, so I was kind of like, why would they save tires? But I didn't want to say it.
That happened early with Friesen when he said they were saving a set, and we know that it doesn't matter how many you save, you can only put them on twice.
Look at the 21 of Zane Smith. He's inside the top 10. Parker Kligerman, as always, doing a nice job inside the top 10 as well.
Slipped Rafael Lessard into the top 5.
Yep.
Great job by Rafael.
This dirt track, too, you're going to see the same thing in the Cup race later here today. You're going to see some names up front that you're not used to seeing. Because, yes, car makes a difference. You got to have a good car, but no one really knows how to make a good car, right? So it's the same thing here in the Truck Series.
Car or truck. It's a great equalizer is that dirt.
Pace truck will pull off. Let's hear a little Ben Rhodes radio first.
Get ready. Green, 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 green. Still outside. Still outside. 38 halfbacks, 1 up. Coming outside barely. You're clear high, clear high. 1 back, 38. Still clear, 1 back, 38.
TJ Bell Jr., the spotter for Rhodes in the 99, the voice you were hearing. Rhodes into that second position with Todd Gilliland right there in third. Lessard and Enfinger filling out the top 5 and battling for positions throughout the course of the field.
There's Parker Kligerman in that black truck. He's on the outside making some progress up there, having a nice run. Briscoe down low and Zane Smith hanging right there watching this battle.
Yeah, Kligerman and Briscoe for spots, and here comes Kevin Harvick. Remember, he said the truck was a lot better than the driver. I'm not counting the driver out just yet.
No, he doesn't mind going 3 wide either.
Squeezed.
3 wide middle tight. 3 wide middle.
How cool is that? That's a Hunt Brothers sandwich.
Chase Purdy losing that spot. And wow, Purdy slips back while Sheldon Creed on the bottom in the 2. He's in position to maybe lose a spot from Harvick. It's go time for Harvick in that 17.
You knew he would figure out. Look how rough it's getting, Joey. You see those trucks bouncing around?
Right, and like I said, look how straight these trucks are now. They're not all yawed out, not pitched sideways as much as they were in the beginning of the race. And this is where you see, the drivers that you would expect coming to the front, the Kevin Harvicks, the guys that have been racing for a long, long time. Whether it's on asphalt, dirt, concrete, I don't think it matters. The cream will rise to the top.
You know what I love, Vince? There's 38 laps to go, and if this was concrete, I would think it'd be over in about 5 minutes. But with the dirt and all this action, guys sideways, This could be a thrilling 38 laps.
Here's Haley Deegan, 17th. Bubba Wallace just ahead of her in the 11. Chase Purdy has slipped all the way back and continues to fall back as Deegan pulls up alongside.
You see behind Deegan that bright yellow truck.
Crafton, man. He won't quit.
He's going to try to make that top work. There's a lot of Cup guys that are watching this and is a big fan of Matt Crafton right now, saying, yeah, widen that track out for us, buddy.
I mean, he's making it work. Like, he's doing it. It's just you're living on the edge. You go a little bit too far, you're going to lose 3 or 4 spots.
Well, and as Kyle Larson said in his interview, when you take that high line, it makes the track longer. So you lose time as you go around the top if it's not that much better than what you get on the bottom. Just because you've made the track bigger.
Johnny Sauter with the major struggle there, almost in the infield down the back straightaway.
Todd Gilliland starting to put a little more pressure on the 99 of Rhodes for second. Just over 30 to go here at Bristol. Going to take a break, but we'll stay side by side so you won't miss a lap on the dirt.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. We went side by side and you didn't miss a thing. Unfortunately, Johnny Sauter and Chandler Smith didn't miss each other either. Mess on the back straightaway, so we're under caution. See what happens here. You can see Smith on the right side of the screen. He gets loose and nowhere for Johnny Sauter to go. Wow.
He just got a little crossed up top there, and coming down the racetrack, there's Johnny. Just, where do you go?
Johnny was in the wrong spot.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Watch our camera pick up this crazy action. I think it's a big break for the field, though, because Martin Truex had driven off to a pretty good lead. Re-rack them and see if anybody has anything for Martin.
Well, and this is what Ben Rhodes was talking about. He said he needed a late race caution, try to get him on a restart, which is still going to be very hard to do. He made it sound like it was going to be simple, but let's listen to the 99.
Forward drive. Got no drive right now. They're just killing us on drive. I don't have nothing for them.
Drive means his tires are spinning when he tries to get down on the gas, Vince.
And everybody's tires are spinning, right? Like nobody is getting wide open. It's just they're hooking up a little bit better. And the bad news for me too is Truex's Cup car has the same qualities, I think. Everything I've looked at, that car hooks up and launches off the corner, and I think we're seeing the same thing happen here. So they must communicate from the truck team to the Cup team maybe.
How about Martin Truex Jr. before the race and his assessment of what they had today?
Appreciate all the hard work this weekend. I ain't no dirt expert for sure, you know that, but I'll do my best out here. We'll have some fun. Hopefully be around at the end, go race for a win.
He does look like a dirt expert.
He has that. He's made dirt experts look like they don't know what they're doing at times. He's so good. Ben Rhodes, you're talking, he's talking no grip, Vince. He's running second. Can you imagine what it feels like running 20th? Really no forward bite.
Todd Gilliland running third, having a good run, Jamie.
A really good run. And off the truck, he told me they were really good and they went in the right direction with some changes in that practice, the final practice on Friday. Doing a nice job today. Said his drive off seems to be better than the guys he's around. Now the bad news, he said his temperatures are pegged, so he's going to try to keep his nose tucked away from his competitors. But that's kind of hard when you're at the front of the field and everybody's chomping for that lead.
They had a good run, 4th place on the road course at Daytona, and since then they've had some tough results, so good to see the 38 back up there in the mix. Just what they needed.
What about this season Ben Rhodes is putting together, Vince? He started off the season with those two wins in Florida and a lot of speed here in Bristol as well.
Yeah, it seems like we're a long way away from the playoffs, but the playoffs are top of mind for every one of those drivers. I can assure you 10 get into the postseason and got some strong names on the outside of that cut line. 11th, 12th, Brett Moffitt, former champion back in 14.
Really hard blow to the 18 team, losing ground here in Bristol. Let's go racing.
Yeah, they brought up temperatures. These trucks that are following others, that dust is going to go through the grill into the radiator. And yeah, you're not turning much RPM because you're not having much wide open time, but there's no air moving, and it's all getting blocked by the dust and the dirt. And you see Johnny overheating pretty big here too, but his not more than just dirt is his issue.
Yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better for Sauter. Pace truck will pull off, and we'll have Ben Rhodes on the inside, Martin Truex Jr. on the top. As we go green, there will be 25 to go. Does anybody have anything for that 51 of Truex?
Wow, look at him charge into turn 1. 3 wide, bumping and banging.
Comes Kevin down the middle.
He likes that middle. He's done it a couple times. Look how they're just really starting to push around, squeezing into holes that aren't there.
Parker Kligerman continues to move. Kligerman won a couple of races on dirt back in his ARCA days. He said, 2 for 2, might as well make it 3 for 3. He's up there in the mix. Impressive run for Kligerman, Jamie.
It has been, and Vince coming into this weekend, he had a really open mind, a really positive attitude. He said, I don't know what to expect. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're going to have fun doing it. And I'll tell you what, Vince, they have hooked this truck up, and he is going forward. After that last stop, those adjustments helped him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a good truck, but attitude, I think, goes a long way toward it as well. Having a positive frame of mind about the challenges that this dirt track presents.
See, it's just a fight for the bottom. Most of the speed right now is on the bottom. This is what we saw in the Cup practice look like.
Infinger and Lassard. Infinger in the 98, Lassard the 24.
Infinger's a little bit better right now. Squeezed to the bottom of that 24 truck, and they made contact, and they're going to make some more.
Been impressed with Lassard, though. No dirt background per se, but he has been competitive all day long.
There's some bump and runs here.
Yes,
still
there
Bristol.
Are.
Camping World, 20 to go. 20 to go on the dirt at Bristol. Martin Truex Jr. been a dominating performance so far today. Led 85 laps and counting. And as we creep inside, 20 to go, let's crank it up.
Driver up off the corner. 1.5 back now. 2 back.
Let's crank her down, Vince.
Have to. It's the 49 of Andrew Gordon.
He's not going anywhere either.
He might be stuck.
Got into those barrels.
Those rear tires need to be on the ground for the car to move.
He's not going anywhere.
That's
That's
no.
That's definitely spinning the tires.
That's no forward bite
no
right
forward, no forward at all. Not enough rear weight on the tires.
It's not a. It's definitely not a barrel of fun.
Nice.
Anything else? Either one of you want to come with?
Joey laughs at my jokes, Vince. We've been hanging around too long. You don't do that.
I just shake my head.
I do laugh at a lot of things, though.
Oh, so don't give me too much credit.
Yeah.
You saw Gordon going around, the 30-year-old from Columbia, South Carolina, making his Camping World Truck Series debut. And
just need to push.
Yeah. I think we need a red flag.
Well, the rest of the field is happy to get any sort of stoppage or slowdown of Martin Truex Jr. to give him a chance.
I was watching lap times, Vince, and Martin had about 2/10 over second place running Ben Rhodes, but right on Rhodes' tailgate, Todd Gilliland, he was faster than Rhodes, and I think if he makes that move, has something for possibly tracking down the 51 of Truex.
And they're going to stop all the trucks on the backstretch. You know, we made the comment earlier, reminding you of the statistic that the last 7 times that a driver has won the first and second stage, he did not win the race. And
the last time that happened was at Atlanta last week. John Hunter won both stages, and Kyle Busch got his truck really good at the end and was able to win the race.
And Martin Truex Jr. is hoping to snap that streak today. He won stage 1 and stage 2 and has been by far the best of the trucks.
It's going to take something pretty big for that to happen. But we've seen that happen in the Truck Series and really any NASCAR series plenty of times. When you get down to the end, nobody cares. Everyone just presses really hard, and there could be some rooting and gouging.
And there will be, I'm sure. It gives us a chance to remind you that, speaking of rooting and gouging, later today, you'll probably be doing some of that, Joey. 4 o'clock over on Fox. The Cup Series on dirt for the first time in more than 50 years. Green flag waves just after 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Again, on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Been a fun one here today so far with the Camping World Truck Series.
Great job by the one of Haley Deegan getting through there, but Matt Crafton runs into the back of John Hunter, and that's when things went south. We lost our attitudes a bit.
See John Hunter.
Wow.
And Kyle Larson, that was the end of Larson's day there.
And Danny Bones as he drove right into Larson. No control of that truck.
It's gotten a little dusty. The track has changed significantly from where we started, as we anticipated. And you got to keep adjusting with it. And there's Andrew Gordon, which has just brought out this red flag. Gone around, and the truck's now stopped on the backstretch while the cleanup continues. As you look at our Pinty's Truck Race on Dirt race summary.
Brought to you by Blue Emu.
Thank you, Michael.
There he.
And you see there just 17 laps to go. Martin Truex Jr. has led the most. He's led 88 laps. Sheldon Creed has led 38.
Sheldon was good early and has dropped back outside the top 10 here as we've raced along.
Well, now Martin Truex Jr. has had the dominating truck here in this race, and he'll race in the Cup car a little bit later this afternoon. And Jamie is with his Cup crew chief.
And that would be James Small. So James is out here, and the team, they're trying to work on their car a little bit, but they're also watching what's happening. James, your driver has just dominated this race. Have you been surprised by his skill and ability so far on the dirt?
Not really. You know, he's done very little racing, but he told me, a couple of months ago, he thought he missed his calling being a dirt racer. So, he's proven that today. So hopefully in our race he can do the same.
All right, how have you guys come off the truck so quick in practice? Everybody was talking about how fast you guys were. What is your background with dirt, and how did you guys dial it in so quickly?
Zero background, so first time I've been to a dirt track, but just used a lot of common sense, and spoke to some other people that have done it before, and relied on Blake a lot. He's got a good dirt background, so as a team we've been doing pretty good this weekend, so try and continue it.
Well done. It's been fun to watch, so good
Cheers.
luck coming up later on.
Good stuff, Jamie. Now, we heard Martin downplaying his dirt expertise, and James Small, as Cup crew chief, just saying he has no dirt experience. Somebody's pulling our leg.
Yeah, somebody knows what they're doing out there. You can tell by watching. I don't know if it might not be those two. I don't know. Somebody in that organization has helped them with a great setup, and obviously Martin's doing a good job driving it.
You know what I'm looking forward to, Vince? We talk about how as the laps wind down, these guys just heat up the pressure, and they try to get in holes that aren't there. Watch this restart. I'm sure Truex will take the top. Nobody's more aggressive than Ben Rhodes. He's going to push and shove as hard as anyone. Be interested to see if he decides he might need to use up Martin a little bit. Look at there. Get into him, knock him out of the way.
He doesn't have to race him next week. Right? I mean, that's one thing Ben has in the back of his mind, is that it'll be some time before he races against Truex again. So maybe he has that in his mind and he'll go for it.
Well, I think from what we've seen from Truex, that's what you're going to have to do if you're going to beat him, because he has been superior in just about every way during the course of this race today, whether it's been the restarts or once they've spread out. He has had the superior speed and the drive off. But that's why you run all the laps, because you never quite know what's going to happen.
There's no telling. I never thought we'd see dirt on Bristol, and here we are. So there's no telling what's going to happen when we're out there.
How about we dial old Martin up, talk about this dominating performance. Hey, Martin, it's your friend Mike in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Hey, old buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You dirt racer. Wow, what a performance. That truck's dialed in and you are wheeling it. What do you think about these last restarts? You know how aggressive these truckers like to get.
Yeah, I got a bunch of kids and trucks on my butt, so I don't know. We'll see. But it's been a lot of fun, honestly, and thanks to all the owners at Noble Aerospace for helping put this deal together, and Kyle and everybody at KBM for letting me do it. So it's been a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been a blast. So hopefully we can keep it up here for whatever it is, 15 to go or whatever.
My buddy Logano's up here with me, and he says your Cup car looks as good as your truck. How do you feel about the race coming up on Fox this afternoon?
Pretty optimistic, especially after today so far. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, really. I felt okay after practice with both the truck and the car, but you never know. So it's been, I've been pleasantly surprised how this race has gone, and let's see if we can finish it off here. Either way, it's been a blast.
It's been fun to watch. Thank you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love it. You can hear the joy in his voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's no hiding it.
Well, of course he's having fun. He's led almost every lap of this thing. That's the most fun place you can be.
Are you saying
that's the same question to the guy running 10th right now. It might be a little different.
Not quite the same tone of voice?
Probably not.
Justin Allgaier knows a little something about racing on dirt. Good to see this tweet from him. Need more dirt racing with all three NASCAR series, yeah?
Justin's a dirt guy.
Yep.
Yeah, when I went down to Volusia to run this dirt modified, Justin was down there, Crafton's down there, and they're having a good time. And believe me, it is a lot of fun racing on dirt. It's just a different discipline, and it's fun for somebody like myself that races on asphalt every single week in my whole life. And then you go to a completely different discipline and you're asking questions on how do I drive the car when the track's like this. Most of the time when they water the racetrack, it gets slicker, in my mind, and it's adding grip at a dirt track. So everything's just different. How do you set up your car? How do you drive? How do you restart? All those things are just completely different. And here you see the fans at Bristol having a good old time. And there's some experienced dirt racers in the fans. You can tell by their glasses.
And
that is key. The attire.
The entire outfit is spot on when it comes to going dirt racing. And just relaxing day. We love this beautiful Monday afternoon, and we're getting to go NASCAR racing here on the dirt.
Well, we had so much rain over the past couple of days, and so many in the community have been stressed into emergency situations in some ways to, save their cars, their homes, themselves. And what the crew has done here with the racetrack and around the racetrack itself has just been amazing.
Well, we couldn't have raced. Fans couldn't have come yesterday. I mean, the whole parking lot was flooded. So racing today was the only option.
And it's dry here. It is. Well, they're getting lined up here, 2 wide. Pace truck is off, and Martin Truex Jr. leads us back to green. 12 to go at Bristol.
Ben missed a shift. Ben tried to be aggressive on the start. Didn't catch 4th gear there. Cost him some ground.
Lassard nudging ahead. Rhodes trying to fight back for 2nd. And while they battle, Truex stretches it out a bit.
And they battle. They are really tight back there for 2nd through about 20th.
Neither giving an inch. Lassard and Rhodes side by side for 2nd, and that's Chase Briscoe right behind them, followed by Todd Gilliland. Finally, Rhodes secures the position.
Look at Lassard all over the back of Rhodes. Briscoe sizing them up as well.
On board with Kevin Harvick.
2's pushing you. 11 trying to get your right rear. 11's outside and inside. 3 wide middle here. 3 wide middle. 2's on the bottom. Clear the 2. Clear high. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Just outside the top 10.
Bubba Wallace around the outside of Harvick. Bubba rolls up into the 13th position.
Oh my goodness, you can't see where you're going.
Are you ready for this, Joey?
No. It looks hard. Looks very challenging right here, trying to figure out where you're going. It looks like you got to be within 3 feet of the car in front of you to see them.
You know, this race fans are questioning your sanity when people are saying, this is fun. What, going 100 miles an hour when you can't see where you're going? How's that fun?
No one ever said race car drivers are real smart.
Todd Gilliland trying to squeeze inside on Chase Briscoe.
That was a textbook pass there. Just really rang that bottom.
And got it. Yeah, Briscoe slipped up a little bit.
Right back.
Yes, he did.
Looks like Gilliland's got a really fast truck. I noticed his lap times earlier. See if he can make any ground on 3rd place, Rafael Lassard.
Briscoe back to 5th with Infinger and Zane Smith right behind, ready to challenge for that position. Truex continues to lead by 1.5 seconds.
He just checks out real quick, doesn't he?
It's impressive.
Coming to 5 to go when he crosses the line this time for Martin Truex Jr.
I mean, it kind of looks like Bristol of old. You know, everyone's just right around the bottom, creeping the bottom. Like we said, this track was going to go through some huge changes, and boy, does it look way different than what it did when the race started. You see that big bump there. That bump was there in practice for us in the Cup cars as well. Look how much those trucks move. Wow.
See the battle there for 3rd tightening up as Gilliland has run down Lassard.
Stuart Friesen hasn't been the kind of day he was hoping for, just outside the top 10, running 11th. And there's Haley Deegan in that 1 truck running 19th, battle with Chase Purdy in the 23.
He's done a nice job running all the laps. We talk about experience, getting better and better. This is a check mark for Haley being that competitive. Was up almost in the top 10 early and has dropped back some now.
On the left-hand side of the screen is our leader, Martin Truex Jr. 2 laps remaining. Ben Rhodes in 2nd, but not within striking distance unless Truex has a problem.
Martin's just smoking him.
1 lap to go. The white flag is out for Martin Truex Jr. It has been a dominant day. He won stage 1. He won stage 2. And he has led the most laps, more than 100 today. And he's about to put the finishing touches on his first career Truck Series win. Martin Truex Jr. on the dirt at Bristol.
Holy hell, boys. That's awesome. Thank you, Martin. That was awesome, man. We enjoyed it.
I can think of 39 other people that didn't particularly enjoy it.
Yeah. As I said, he had a blast. When you're that much faster in the field, yeah, let's throw dirt on every track.
You know, and Martin said, Bristol, he said, it hasn't been their best place the last few years. He said, they might as well put dirt on it. We couldn't be any worse. And boom, they put dirt on it and he wins the thing. And we'll see what he has for him later in the Cup show.
Not much smoke for the old smoke show here. No.
Martin's looking around, hey, where's all my smoke?
Martin Truex Jr. and the Kyle Busch Motorsports crew in that 51, crew chief Marty Lindley.
That was impressive.
3 wins this season. 3 wins in a row, we should add, for Kyle Busch Motorsports, with John Hunter Nemechek winning at Vegas, Kyle winning at Atlanta, and now Martin Truex Jr. winning on the dirt here at Bristol.
The team owner's got to be pretty proud of his drivers, huh?
Absolutely. Always fun to collect those checkered flags.
Especially at Bristol. This is just one of those iconic NASCAR tracks that anytime you can put your name on a trophy at Bristol, it's special.
We should add that Martin is the oldest first-time winner in the series since you won at Daytona in 2011.
He is old then. I did not realize that.
Regan's with the winner.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. dusting the hat off, dusting the uniform off. This is something a little bit unique. Hey, you haven't run a truck race in over 15 years. You just come out on the dirt and make it look like you've been doing it your whole life.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. I mean, I guess they had to put put dirt on Bristol to get me back to victory lane here. So it's been a long time. That was a blast. I'm still really surprised. I wanted to run this race so I could get more experience for the Cup car, and man, we got out there and practiced, and just it felt really good, and I was having a lot of fun, and so I just kept trying to work with the guys to tell them what I needed, and just thanks to auto owners and Noble Aerospace and Toyota TRD, everybody at KBM for letting me drive this thing and putting this deal together, and that was a blast. I kept thinking, man, what's going to happen next? Am I going to get a flat tire or something stupid? I mean, this 51 is pretty much used to being in victory lane, so a lot of pressure there, but glad we could get it done.
You mentioned the Cup car coming up a little bit later this afternoon, 4 o'clock on Fox, the Cup race. What did you learn now that you can take away to that race in a little bit?
I learned a lot. I mean, it was really amazing just how much the track changed. But I will have to say this thing stayed really, really good the whole time. So I think if you've got a good car, you can be good all day long. It just depends on what they do to the track. It's getting hotter. It's going to keep drying out and getting slicker. So we'll see what they do to prep it. But no matter what they do, that was a blast, and I'm looking forward to this afternoon.
All smiles for Martin Truex Jr.
And Ben Rhodes brings it home second. And Ben, on that final restart, I heard you miss a shift there. Do you think if you didn't do that, you would have anything for that 51?
Yeah, we were running them back down there the last few laps. But yeah, just worst restart of my life. Early in the race, I had an issue of getting it into into fourth gear. And missed the shift early on, and I didn't really think nothing of it. I had clean shifts afterward, and then just missed it. So bummer for my guys. That's the closest I've been at Bristol to winning here, and it was on the dirt. So, they gave me a great Bombardier Tundra. I'm just a little angry at myself. I really think I could have brought them home a trophy, but, big picture racing here. I know the 51 is kind of doing their thing, but for the overall championship for us, this is a huge race. I know a few of our competitors had a bad day. So, at the end of the day, still really solid. We came here and we did exactly what we said we wanted to do. We hit all of our goals. Just hurts to be the first loser.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Let's move over to the third place finisher of the day. Rafael Lessard, his best finish of the year by a lot, and you don't have any dirt experience. How did you come so far in such a short period of time?
First of all, I just want to thank everyone at GMS. Josh Wise, Scott Speed, everybody in the driver involved in the driver edge development program. It was a blast. I had so much fun, but coming from the back, it was pretty hard to pass, and you had to wait for people to make mistakes. But I loved it, slipping and sliding like that. It's a lot of fun, but I just couldn't get it to turn on the bottom like I was earlier in the race. But oh well. I can't thank everyone at Chevy, and we'll just move on. And it's good to finally get a good finish. It's been a rough beginning of the season. We didn't finish like we wanted, but I'm happy with a top 3.
Well done today.
Thanks.
Vince.
Thank you very much, Jamie. And it was an impressive performance from Lessard, and Ben Rhodes strong with that runner-up finish. But I got to tell you, Martin Truex Jr., got to take the hat off to him. What an excellent job. And Joey, you did a great job up here as well. Always fun to have you in the booth. What's the number one thing you learned about the race coming up this afternoon at 4?
Well, I thought survival was going to come into play even more so than it did in this race, but it seemed like trucks were able to, make a lot of laps, a lot of really good racing. Tires didn't seem like it came into play as much as we thought it would either. So a lot of things were a little bit different than I thought, but the dry, slick track was everything we probably expected, and making sure your car or truck is going to be really good at the end of the race is going to be important.
How about your takeaway, Mike?
I just can't believe the dominating performance we saw. I didn't see that one coming. But what I love most, Vince, is how much racing there was throughout this whole field. We got a great crowd of fans here in the stands. Fox does a great job of covering all that racing. It's just intense, and I think it's only going to be more so come Cup racing time. 40 of those guys fighting for all that spots on that racetrack. I can't wait to watch. I'm going to get me a beer and go in the stands.
Well, the fans certainly got a good show today, and it was fun for sure to see NASCAR back on the dirt. And we'll see more of it. We're not done yet. Coming up 4 o'clock this afternoon, the Cup Stars get on the dirt. That's over on Fox. Green flag just after 4 o'clock. Thanks to our man who pilots that 22 machine, Joey Logano, for joining us. Michael Waltrip, Jamie Little, Regan Smith, our producer Mark Smith, and our director Artie Kempner. I'm Vince Welch. Thanks for joining us on the dirt at Bristol. Stay with us. Coming up next, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.